아직도 사람을 믿나?
I'm still going to watch it. I'm very intrigued to see how this show ends.
Right.
But that didn't really excite me. It didn't make me angry. I don't know. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, there's not much
Yeah,
to
don't
it,
know
is
if
there?
that's
It's not a very good trailer.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a very good trailer.
Because I think part of the problem with the way the second season ended is that it did not feel like a complete story. It felt very much like a part one.
Right. Okay.
We just had to wait a year to find out all the answers. It's a case where I'm watching it I'm interested to see what those answers are, but I don't know how excited I am.
I thought season 1 was pretty damn good, just in terms of just how relentlessly entertaining it was.
Oh, for sure.
Kind of on a surface level, really. Although I liked how dark it was, how graphic and gory it didn't shy away from that area of it, and it always seemed like every episode was unpacking and exploring more stuff.
Yeah, and the world building as well. I thought
The world building
excellent.
was fantastic.
And we shouldn't forget the hype around that show when it
was
first
huge.
came out. And I think that is probably part of the reason why season 1 is rated so highly. I still think it's very good, but I feel like the hype around it very much
It's too much.
kind of elevated it.
Oh yeah,
In a way, it was very much a case of right place, right time. It was like kind of what's the word? It was a moment.
Yeah, it was.
It
of
was
course. For quite
it
a
was
while.
definitely
And
like
we
a
were
moment in
just
time.
riding along it and being able to discuss it with people. Everyone had seen it.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about it. Like you say, it elevated it, and for good reason. I do think it was for
It's
good
a good
reason.
show.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, I don't know. After the hype had died down, there are just so many issues.
There are
with it, and for
countless
the end,
issues.
I didn't like the twist with the old man being the front man.
No, I
Didn't
didn't.
do it for me. And then his motivations very surface level, I'm a rich asshole.
Yeah, it was just the case
That's
of.
it.
I felt like it was just. It felt like it needed to add an extra dimension to it at the end. To cap it off, and it didn't need it. It just didn't need
absolutely
it.
not.
It retracted from it rather than add to it, and also it was a lot of tropes at the end. I felt that just just fell flat. But overall, I think just the sheer enjoyment of watching all these characters in this situation and being, forced to play out all these games, you can't deny that it's entertaining, even just on a surface level. And this is how I enjoy Squid Game. I enjoy it on a surface level. I don't think that it really plays out particularly well when you try to look into it. I think
it completely breaks down.
Yeah, it does.
If you're not willing to suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But no, it is definitely a show that is a crowd pleaser.
So I didn't enjoy season 2 though, and I can't even really tell you in particular why. I just feel like maybe that's why. Maybe it's just because I felt like it was trying to, which isn't even really a fair play to the show that it was trying to do it, but it was trying to. I feel like it was trying to take itself more seriously, but in a way where it just didn't justify that it was trying to take itself more seriously.
Because, even if the first season did that a little bit, it felt very much more like a social satire.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like it was aware of that. Whereas with the second season, it does feel like a bit more of an obligation because, the writer, he was sitting on the first season for 10 plus years. It was his baby.
Right.
It was his passion project. And I think you can definitely tell when watching season 2, it's kind of feels a lot more mandated. And they probably maybe didn't give him enough time to write the scripts. And I'm assuming for this season as well. And I don't know, the pace wasn't as tight. And I don't know, man. Not that there wasn't any passion in there. Yeah, I don't doubt that he had, he still feels a lot of passion behind it, but I don't know. There was just a general feeling whilst I was watching it, are you a little burnt out? The writer, that is. Maybe not the cast. They still give it their all.
They do, yeah. Although I will say, I don't know how you feel about it, but there's something that's really puts me off, and it stood out a lot more in the second season, was just the main character. I think the main character's a fucking idiot. I don't think it's the acting. I think the acting's all right. I wouldn't say it's incredible or anything. I just think he's written to be a fucking idiot who makes stupid decisions, and yet he always comes out doing all right. And I think it's just an example of a show that, like we say, it's just incredibly flawed, just in the way that the characters don't really always face the consequences of their actions. And it's supposed to be this very kind of gritty, kind of like harsh.
Yeah,
You know, when you see it is, shocking at the beginning when you see these people just getting blown up and shot.
No,
and, you know,
like I mean that red light, green light scene in the very first, the first episode or second episode. I mean that's an iconic piece of television.
Yeah,
because I don't think anyone had seen anything like that.
Yeah.
That's why it's really effective.
And I did like how it didn't just immediately impatiently take you to the games. It tried to
set it up. It built the world, built the lore.
And so it felt more impactful when it happened.
Yeah. But another problem I have with the show, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, plot armor.
Oh, 100%.
There's a shit ton of plot armor on every single, not just the main character, the side characters as well. Like, who's that one dumbass who is he's being bullied by the, I'm a legend, Thanos.
Is this the second season?
Yeah, the second season. He has an opportunity, he's with that girl. He's an opportunity to kill them and he just doesn't take it.
It's just like, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't understand it. And like we said, people just can give it more grace because they can enjoy it on the surface level.
I think just because of how popular that first season was.
Yeah.
And what a phenomenon it was at the time. But... yeah, I mean, look, I'll be there to watch it, but they're not that excited one way.
No, me neither. Me neither.
Seeking life. I created death.
Wow.
Yeah?
I'm really excited for that.
Oh, yeah.
How about you?
I'm not excited about it.
Really?
No. I'm a big Guillermo del Toro fan. How do you say his name? Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo del Toro. I can't say that.
Guillermo.
Guillermo.
Spanish fans, if you're out
there. He's just an example of a director who I admire massively. He Pan's Labyrinth. I don't know if you've seen Cabinet of Curiosities.
I haven't. I've seen Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, he's an unbelievably passionate director. I have so much respect for him. Also, I don't know if you've seen his adaptation of Pinocchio.
I haven't.
No, so it was weird. It was weird. It was weird. Like there was a period where very closely all these three adaptations of Pinocchio came out at the same time. And there's one that's obviously my favorite, which is Pinocchio: A True Story.
Oh yes, that absolute masterpiece.
No, I'm joking.
All hail Polly Shore. We'll hopefully talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time. But and then there was the Disney one that was just absolute arsewipe. But Guillermo del Toro, that was a great film. I definitely recommend it. Stop motion done at its finest, and he's just a great designer. He's just designs of just sets and characters and all that stuff. He's got such a vibe. He's so passionate.
So I mean, what was it about that didn't intrigue you?
It just seemed like a film that focuses more on the spectacle than the characters. There's not much depth. I don't know. I just think for me, that's
weird about because I think he's usually like great at doing that, especially with something like Pan's Labyrinth.
No, he is. What do you mean spectacle?
Story.
Spectacle.
No, blending spectacle with the characters.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's normally quite good at that.
He is. It's weird. It's like it's just an example of someone that I don't resonate with his work much. I just don't really enjoy it, but I admire the fuck out of it.
Though I will say, a part of me is worried this might be another Nosferatu situation.
Right.
Because, and I feel like many similarities, both, very passionate directors, love horror, like to immerse their actors in the period. They're very specific about the details. And with Nosferatu, I admire the fuck out of it. Beautiful film. Absolutely beautiful, but I didn't connect with it.
Oh, so did you watch Nosferatu?
I did, yeah.
You did, okay.
Yeah, and I couldn't get into it.
Okay,
There was something missing, and that was a shame because I love Robert Eggers.
Interesting.
And I am kind of worried this could go in that direction.
Yeah.
How excited I am for it.
I was going to bring up Nosferatu as well. So Nosferatu was actually very well received as well. So it's interesting that you didn't enjoy it also because it's just something, again, it all comes down to what you enjoy about cinema. It's just something to me that it didn't seem, and this is probably how you feel as well, it just didn't seem unique in any way. I mean, we've seen it so many times. It's just so boring. I found it so tiring.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think that Nosferatu was scary at all. I thought he was actually quite laughable. Like,
No.
you know, like some people were like, wow, this is a genuine...
Oh, this is so terrifying.
This is genuine horror.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's weird how people have different reactions because I just thought his voice was funny. I thought it was stupid. I was like...
and what, sort of like Aaron Taylor-Johnson, a very weird performance.
Yeah, it was just...
Whatever he was doing. But
it's a frustrating sort of film, and I agree. I think it's the same sort of thing.
No, I really do want to like this because, big Del Toro fan. Of course, from a technical point of view, looks beautiful.
Yeah,
looks really beautiful, and I like the cast. Like Oscar Isaac, kills it in absolutely everything. And yeah, man, I guess it could go one of two ways. It will either be like an excellent film within the horror genre and really well done, or it could be just where there's a lot of like passion on display, a lot of technical mastery, but you just don't feel a goddamn thing. So
I think it will be the latter.
I'm optimistic about it. Okay,
I think it'll be the latter, but I think no matter what, it will probably be quite well received.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
My children! There's no discharge in the war.
We watched both trailers. We watched the first one and the second one. I enjoyed the first one more. I thought that was more intriguing, more creatively made. Like just that music, that I don't know what, that old track that was playing in the background was really intriguing. It's cool that Cillian Murphy's character comes back as a zombie as well.
And for a moment, people weren't sure if that was actually him.
Yeah,
but I think we all knew he was coming back.
I think that's a nice little detail.
I
think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I have very high hopes for this.
I love seeing Ralph Fiennes in it. He's one of my favourite actors of all time. I think that's great.
Jodie Comer's excellent.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the fact you've got Danny Boyle and Alex Garland, back together.
Yeah.
I hope they hit the ground running. Mm-hmm. It's a worthy sequel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is a very easy film to screw up.
I think 28 Weeks Later was quite good as well. I don't know if you thought about it.
I think with 28 Weeks Later, if it wasn't following such a great first film, it probably would be viewed in different light as like a solid film. So I think just because the first one was so iconic and so well received, it was viewed as a lesser film.
Yeah, I think it still holds up quite well, both of them. But obviously, it's great to see Danny Boyle again. Mm-hmm. What was the last film he made? Was it Yesterday?
The last film, Yesterday.
Yeah.
Which was is fine, not his.
Yeah, he has made fine films, but he also is a fantastic director as well.
Yeah.
So it seems like in the trailers there's a hell of a lot going on. Like there's a lot of different places
it does seem like they've expanded the scope of it, because I felt like the first one, also because it was a much smaller budget, more of an indie film. It looks a bit more intimate, and this looks very much more like a bigger scale, like much more of an epic, and and hopefully that's for the better.
Yeah, I just hope it's not to its detriment.
Yeah, where it's just the spectacle.
Yeah, that it's just trying to do too much.
But I mean, the big thing we really need to talk about is the bloody camera.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anyone knows this, but they used iPhones on this film, and this pitch came out online of a 20 rig iPhone that they used for one scene.
So insane.
I think it's crazy. And I think it's a cool choice because it mimics the fact that the original film was shot on like digital, on an old camcorder. So I think that's really cool, man.
Yeah, I think
they've used an iPhone.
Yeah, we're gonna we're gonna admire that. I mean, that's cool. I will say that you can kind of tell it's shot on an iPhone though. Yeah. Like if you can tell that it just doesn't kind of capture that kind of look that like a proper fucking Arri Alexa would capture. But that's obviously on purpose. He's trying to do that on purpose. So it's interesting he's doing it like that. It's weird, that 20 camera iPhone rig. I don't know what the hell that shot's gonna look like.
I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah.
No. On the subject of Danny Boyle, do you think he's a director that is kind of like his star has faded a little bit, and then people
100.
Yeah, I kind of feel
that. I do.
He was at one point a very exciting director. I mean, like in the 90s with like Train Spotting, and stuff like that. And I'd say his golden era was really Sunshine, Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. He's been in kind of like a weird funk where he's made like decent films, but nothing like really exceptional.
Yeah,
because we know he can make exceptional films. He's a really like strong director. I mean, like I think 127 hours.
One of my favorite films.
Oh, is a fantastic film.
I think that's also another film that's kind of underrated and not spoken about enough.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a conversation for another day. But do you Did you like Trainspotting 2?
Not really, because the first one was just so, so strong. It was always going to be a tough act to follow. So I guess we've seen that he doesn't make bad sequels, but sequels that are always kind of living in the shadow of their predecessors. And I hope this doesn't fall in that trap and that it's a worthy film in its own right.
Yeah.
But it could go that way where it's like people just thinking, God, wouldn't I rather be watching the first film?
So, and the first film, the first film was shot on like just like a recorder.
Very primitive digital.
Yeah.
Which really worked at the time, and it was something people hadn't really seen before.
Yeah.
Quite revolutionary in that.
It was,
in that genre, especially the zombie genre, because it was very documentary-like.
Yeah. That's what made it feel so real.
I don't think zombies had been portrayed in that way, like in a mainstream film, where they're fast as fuck and they're just constantly running towards you.
Yeah.
So the first one was very important in that regard.
Yeah.
For the
Would
genre.
you say it's one of your favorite zombie films? 28.
It's up there. Definitely up there with the Romero stuff.
With Romero? What's
George A. Romero, so like the Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The
That's
original,
something
not
that
the
I need
Snyder
to see.
Dawn of the Dead, the original Dawn of the Dead.
Right, okay. So Zack Snyder did a Dawn of the Dead.
That was his first film, and it's one of Snyder's better.
Is it
films.
2004?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
so that's actually the 2004 is a classic in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, James Gunn wrote that.
Did he?
Funny enough, yeah.
Oh, cool.
We keep just leading back to James Gunn
Yeah, interesting.
every podcast.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so I might need to go and watch the 1978?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to go and watch that. That's the thing with zombie films. It's the case of the whole thing has just been done so many fucking times. How are we going to make the story interesting? How are we going to, make it land and feel like it's something new, something that, is worth seeing and not just like a recreation of things and, tropes and stuff like that we've seen thousands and thousands of times before.
And weirdly, I think one of the most successful films within that genre is actually Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Because, it's a piss take, but also a really loving homage. And in the second half, it's an excellent horror film.
Totally agree.
Like, truly.
Totally agree, yeah. Shaun of the Dead is one of my favourite films as well. And it's so interesting that it is, because it's just so stupid. Like, it's just, you just wouldn't think a film like that would just be so good. Like, it's just so...
Because towards the end, he actually decided, right, I'm going to make it an actual horror film.
It's
It's
actually
really
scary.
so strange, but
I remember
it works so brilliantly.
I remember when I watched it as a kid, I just found it seriously and genuinely quite creepy. And the thing about it is that it works similarly to Tropic Thunder, is that it works on many levels. It's a thriller, it's a horror, and it's also extremely funny.
Yeah, but then you can also turn your brain off if you're just looking to be entertained.
Exactly, yeah.
But then there are all these layers to the comedy, in terms of the character development, which I think he's really good at, especially with the whole Cornetto trilogy.
Yeah.